You're listening to episode 238 of Lifestyle Locker Radio with Samir Bhide. Hi, I'm Dr. Josh Hant, and welcome to Lifestyle Locker Radio, where we help you create an awesome life and lifestyle. From nutrition to fitness, mindfulness to peak performance, and relationships to money mindset, we bring you on an amazing journey to help you unleash your human potential. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lifestyle Locker Radio. We have an amazing guest today as I love bringing you these people that have amazing stories, amazing life experiences, and show up in your lives and mine to share their experiences with you. So Samir, I'm excited to have you. Your story is wild. I think the audience is going to totally vibe with you. So welcome.
Well, thanks for having me, Josh. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad to have you. I think where we really need to start is where your most recent journey began. It's a story that I think the audience needs to know about you, and I think it will inspire people more than anything to be their best versions of themselves. I know we spoke about unleashing human potential. So can you bring the audience back to, well, what do you do actually professionally? And then what got you into what you're doing now?
Sure. And I think before I cover that, Josh, let me give you like a quick background on myself.
Sure, perfect.
And so that way that will flow into, what I'm currently doing and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
So, I was born in India. I grew up in Mumbai, India, a big city like New York City. But I moved to the US about 30 years ago as an international student. So first I spent like 3 years studying, my bachelor's degree in management and earned my MBA. And then I found employment in various consulting firms. And for 24 years, I worked in different global companies. Then I got my green card. Then I got my citizenship. And I lived in a couple of cities, Cleveland, first where I started working. And second was in Boston. And then eventually I moved into Northern Virginia, just outside Washington, D.C., where I'm based currently. Since 2002. So that's my background. I came to the US as a student and I've stayed on and I've, so I call the US my adopted country. My country of birth, obviously, India, and US is my adopted country. And to me, both these countries, I love them most, and I only wish both of the countries the best. And you can see in the book, in my book, I talk about my experiences being in India, born here, but spent 30 years back in the US, and then I've come back here again. So my experiences here, then obviously my experiences back home in the US, and how things have gone for me, and so on and so forth. So everything was going on fine. I was living the American dream till January 31st, 2017. I had a beautiful house, I had a great job, I had a beautiful family. I had a sports car. Life was comfortable till that day, that one fine day, as I call it, and I'll cover that in a second, what that means. But that day, that morning, I suffered an extremely rare and a massive stroke in this cerebellum, and that has changed my life forever. So, I had to go through, two brain surgeries of 3 hours each, and then I was in a medically induced coma for about 30 days, and then. Ever since I've been rehabbing. So the life changed dramatically that day. And so I went from going like 100 miles an hour to barely like 20 miles an hour at best. And so it completely shut me down. I was physically weak. My left side was almost paralyzed. My vision got affected. My, swallowing got affected, and so on and so forth. And it hit me hard. I was suffering from a genetic kind of stroke. So I had no idea that there are two kinds of strokes. One is a lifestyle stroke. It's like lifestyle being your diet, your smoking, alcohol, and stuff like that. And the other is a genetic stroke. So genetic is you're born with this some deficiency or some abnormality, which I had, and that resulted in a brain hemorrhage, and it's extremely rare. And I had it. And it was going to happen at some point, whether I was a teen or a child or in my 20s or whatever. It just happened now, 4 years ago. So so things changed dramatically that day. So I went from complete 100 miles an hour to barely 20 miles an hour. I was completely bedridden after the stroke, and then I slowly moved on from being bedridden to to be on a wheelchair, then eventually a walker, and now I'm using a cane. So I've come a very long way.
Yeah.
So as the stroke happened, Josh, after a year and a half, I had another set of tragedies, another set of one fine days, if you will.
Mm.
And so the stroke was obviously the main one in January 2017, and then because of the stroke, I had to stop working, and I had to take a package and quit working. And in 2018, I left my job after working nonstop for 24 years, and that was extremely difficult. And then on top of that, I also had to go through a divorce. So these three events, completely shattered me, and I was at the lowest point in 2018 when all these three events I had to face. And that from there I've dug myself out. And one of the reasons I wrote the book One Fine Day is, I've gone through so much adversity and so much pain, and I've tried different things in Eastern medicine, in Western medicine, different practices, and so on and so forth, that I wanted to share those with others, because I was not prepared. I was not at all prepared, and I have learned so much over the years that I wanted to share with others, and writing the book was the best way to do that. So that's what I've done.
Yeah. So I want to before we go forward, on pause for a second.
Sure.
Reading on your site and having the conversation just now. Knowing that you were in a medically induced coma for a month, 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
That just thinking about life, 30 days goes by, and your eyes are closed, you're hooked up to machines. In that experience for you, and this is more out of my curiosity,
Uh-huh.
is it like a big dream, or is it you're asleep, or you're in before the surgery you're awake, then a coma, and then you're just like a nap and you're awake again 30 days later? What is that like?
It's funny that you say, was it like a dream? And I'll tell you why. By the time I reached the ER, I had passed out. So I have no recollection of the 30 days, barring a few things. And, so 30 days, I went through two surgeries. I was hooked up to all the machines and all that. So I don't remember a lot what happened in those 30 days, barring a few things. And I've covered that in the book, but I had lots of hallucinations. And later on, I found out why I still remember them, because they had given me very strong drugs. And because of that, I vividly remember the hallucinations. And one of them was that I was with President Trump, and I was flying with him on the Trump shuttle to India, and I was brokering a meeting between him and a right-leaning politician here who had died 10 years ago here. So, it's kind of like a bizarre hallucination. There were a couple
Yeah.
of other hallucinations. So, it was literally like, those 30 days, I don't remember a lot besides those hallucinations and a few things here and there. So it was like a dream.
Okay. And just to bring back the audience, three huge traumas, I'm going to call them traumas that
Mhm.
happened in your life, one being obviously physical, one financial, one familial, emotional. If you had to talk about hitting rock bottom,
Mhm.
I think you found the way, unfortunately, right? But I'd say also fortunately, right? Hence
Right, right.
what you've evolved and changed. It was, the people that are going to be watching this video realize, like, I'm looking at you and I would have no idea, based on your voice, since I've taken care of stroke
Right,
patients,
right.
looking at your face, I would never have guessed that you had a stroke. So, your body is doing some pretty miraculous, pretty amazing healing. I'm not watching you walk around, but you know what? You're walking around, which is
Right.
amazing.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. So will you bring the audience, so through the after the 2018, after all three, like the all three hit, uh What was it? Was there something inside, something you felt, something you saw in a dream, something somebody said to you? What made you realize that you need to get yourself out of the hole?
Right, right. Uh, as you correctly said, 2018 was the lowest point in my life. And so the way I look at it, Josh, is 2017, changed me with the stroke.
Mhm.
2018 was the lowest point in my life, and 2019, I kind of my eyes opened in terms of what I need to do in the future, and I'll cover that in a second. I had to do something with my life, right? I couldn't stay the way I was. And 2020, the way I look at it is I'm coming back, and the book was the first way for me to come back, because it took me a while, 2 years to write the book, and through that, I'm looking at 2020 as my comeback year.
Mm.
So 2018, when things were really really bad with those three events, I had a choice to make, right? And I had a choice, right? Either I'll be miserable and about what was happening to me, and be depressed about the situation, or accept things, the way they are, and move on. So I chose the latter, right? Because I wanted to, I was like at such a I was so at the lowest possible level in my life, and I was like, what, I need to do something to be, to heal myself, number one, and help others heal as well. So I had a choice to make. I could be miserable, or I could accept things the way they are, as hard it was, and I decided the latter, and I decided to be healthy and improve for myself, my health, and and as I do that, try to help others.
Yeah. So, you name the book One Fine Day. And I know the audience listening is going, hold on. You called the
Right,
stroke one fine day. You spoke about the other two lowest points in your life as other fine days. So,
right, right.
and it may sound like, wait, is it opposite day for people? So let everybody know, like, and even me, I have an idea, but why do you see them as those fine days? Like, what is it?
Right,
What is it flowering? Like, what is this evolution now becoming?
right, right. So when I say one fine day, so one fine day, if you look at the meaning of one fine day in the English language, it's like at any unspecified period of time. And so that kind of stuck with me, and obviously it was catchy as well. And so one fine day to me means that life can and will change one fine day for anybody, anywhere, and it could be anything big or small. It could be personal or professional. It could be a planned thing like a surgery, or it could be a certain thing like a stroke. It could be anything. It could be a divorce. And again, I'm trying to say that one fine day is anything good or bad. So not
Mm.
necessarily only bad events, right? Any life change which is good or bad, which results in a new normal. So bad changes obviously are things like medical crisis, divorce, layoff, and so on and so forth. But the good things could be as simple as getting married, having a kid, retiring. So no matter what these changes are, they affect you. It results in a new normal, and you have to adapt to this new normal. And it changes our trajectory, and you have to successfully adapt. So that's what I mean by one fine day. Anything can happen anytime to anybody, good or bad.
Mm. So can you talk about the process it took, to accept and adapt to your situations? I know you mentioned the therapies and probably the things that you had to do through the medical crisis. I imagine people definitely could picture and visualize, okay, surgeries, rehabilitation, learning to walk again, or learning to talk again.
Right,
That's a big process. And such a short period of time, it's frankly quite amazing that you are the way you are right now,
right. Thanks.
and that's my opinion. But I say that's almost a guide. That's almost, I won't say an easy path, but you have like a problem. Like if I needed stitches in my finger, I get the stitches. We know the process. The healing takes time. We cut the stitches out or they dissolve. Finger
Right,
back to normal. That's way more or less the way like these medical things can work. But when you have a divorce, when you have um, losing the thing that you love. I don't know if you loved your job, but losing the thing that you enjoyed doing for 24 years or did for 24 years and had to make a 100% pivot. Not like I gotta pivot 10 degrees in my career. You may have had to make 100% pivot and say, I got to do something. What is that process, that adaptation, like?
Right, right. So I'll be honest with you. The very first year after the stroke, it was extremely difficult for me to comprehend what the heck was going on. And so the second chapter in my book, after the stroke, I've called it as "Why me?" Those thoughts completely hounded me for the first year. Why am I suffering? Why is this happening to me? Why my family has to suffer? So I was completely hounded by those thoughts. And over a period of time, after 1 year or so, I started to get into meditation and talking to a psychologist and so on and so forth. And that helped me calm down, and that helped me accept the reality. But it did take me a solid year to accept things, because it was such a ordeal. And I had to slowly, and even now, now the thoughts do come, but they are not like as frequent as they were right after the surgery. So the thoughts, why me? Why am I suffering? Still come, but that's like more like maybe once a month or something, rather than once every hour right after the surgery.
Okay, so I mean, you actually had to take some action steps. That why me is are those are two powerful words,
Right.
but they also can be turned to be a positive, powerful set of words, right? So the why me,
Right.
I mean, now we are fast forward, we're 3 years almost, right? Almost
Almost
getting
four.
to
Yeah.
almost 4 years out, and life is totally different. So what did, like, you worked corporately with consult, what did you do? What was the job that you actually performed?
Sure. So, I work in different roles within consulting and technology companies.
Okay.
So I was in sales, I was in account management, I was in technology consulting, and so on and so forth. So a lot of the times I would visit clients. A lot of the times I would, help clients be better or whatever. So I worked nonstop for 24 years. So that was
Mm.
extremely tough on me. I was constantly working for 24 years, and then I had to quit working, and that added to the, to the mix.
Yeah, I
So
mean, high stress, I imagine, type of job, consulting,
sure, sure, yeah,
long
yeah, yeah.
hours and things like that.
Long hours and a lot of traveling. Yes.
Yeah. So now 4 years later, now the writing of the book, now we're here currently on this call. What's life now? Like what are we doing? What are you doing?
Right. So good question. I call myself an accidental author, because I'd never imagined that I would be writing a book. And I call myself an accidental author, because I never imagined I would be doing this. So now I've done this. So that's my hope. I call this Samir 2.0, right? My new
Yeah.
lease of life. I hope I'll continue writing, whether it's books or columns or whatever. And I want to take the message of One Fine Day, which is in the book right now, but I would like to take it to the global audiences, beyond the book, maybe columns, and maybe a speaking circuit, and so on and so forth. Again, if my health permits. And so that Samir 2.0, it could be that, it could be that this career. And again, if it doesn't put any food on the table, then I might slowly, quietly go back to work. Who knows? Or I may do both. Again, who knows
Yeah.
what will happen.
Yeah. Well, I think uh the challenges that currently lie there and that lie ahead are part of those fine days, in my opinion, right? Because it's humbling, it's scary, it's hard. Did you think you'd be on a podcast, right? When you
Right,
first
right.
started becoming a consultant, well, nobody really knew what this was 24 years
Exactly.
ago, but did you, like, something you never imagined doing, and now you're speaking to people around the planet about your story, about your journey, your trials, your tribulations, and you've come very far. So I know earlier we spoke about, pre-show we spoke about the motto, or the tagline of Lifestyle Locker is unleashing your human potential.
Mhm.
So what does that mean to you? Like, why, you said that's such an important thing. Why does that mean to you?
Right. So, for me, as I discussed before, 2018 was the lowest point, and I could have easily slid into a depression. And this is what my mom always feared, that I may slip into a depression. And I so constantly tell her that, look, I'm sad. I'm definitely sad, but I'm not depressed. So for me, unleashing the human potential is, whether it's a medical crisis like me, or whatever life changes are going on with people. It doesn't have to be just medical crisis. Everyone, each one of us have this potential of doing something beyond what you can think of. And one thing I've learned over the last 3 years is that the strength and the resilience I have, uh, I have shown over the last 3.5 years. Some of it I was born with it genetically, obviously, but a lot of it is I've learned and developed further. So each one of us can learn and develop being resilient, and you really don't know how strong you are till you actually have to use it.
Hmm. And the next question is, we have the book One Fine Day. Who is the best? What is the best person? Where should they be in their life to read this book? Should they be
Right.
someone that's in a car crisis? Should they be someone that's a successful businessman or businesswoman? Who should they be?
Right. I wrote this book for anybody at any stage of their life. Things could be fine or things could be bad, but I just want them to be prepared. Right. I wasn't prepared, so things may be flowing on fine, but you have to be prepared that things may change one fine day, and you have to adjust to that new normal. So it doesn't need to be only that you are having a crisis right now, but everybody has to be aware that one fine day things will change, and you have to be prepared physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Mm.
So the book is written with that in mindset. So obviously it's going to help people who are going through life changes, current life changes, but also just because life changes are not happening, this book is intended for those people as well, to how you can best prepare your mind and body for your new normal. And
Mm.
again, my scope of the book is not to scare people. I just want to make people aware that things can change at any given time. So be prepared as much as possible.
Yeah, I always like to say life happens. We
Yeah,
like to
exactly.
be as proactive and positive, and manifest the best things in our lives. But I know everybody, whether it's a small, and if people say no, I think they're probably lying to themselves. But I think everybody's had these little challenges and some massive challenges, obviously. But these little challenges show up in our lives, and how we respond is so powerful. And I haven't been through the book, but I imagine that, regardless of where the person reading is, whether it's, I have like this, I'm in school and college or whatever it may be, and I'm having struggles, there is some positive, like there's a tunnel, a light at the end of that tunnel to really look forward to, and also be prepared, because if college is challenging, you know what, it's a reality of life, and we're going to have challenges throughout our life. And some people, I mean, we see depression, we see all of these things on the rise, and I love that you use sad and not depressed.
Right, right.
Right, that's very powerful, because I think that's probably most people, but they let themselves get into
Hmm.
a depression versus realizing their feelings of sadness, right?
Right.
I don't even know where I was going with this, but I think, just, the word the new normal has become a popular word, but I think what you mean by it, and it's so powerful, that we can adapt and change. That's like the beauty of being alive, being vibrant, being a human. Like, right? Would you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, Josh, with this pandemic, right? When I
Yeah.
started writing this book, my focus was, about the different life changes which I mentioned to you.
Yeah.
Never in a million years I thought that the pandemic will create such a new normal for people all over the world. So the way I look at it, the whole world had its one fine day, and it's resulting in a new normal, and we have to successfully adapt. Each one of
Mhm.
us, all over the world.
Yeah. Regardless of where you are or what you think about politically or health wise,
Exactly.
we have to adapt and modify our lives.
And
I hate to,
reinvent and reimagine our lives, personal
yes.
life and professional lives.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's phenomenal. So I'd like to ask one last question, which actually 3 questions, or actually not 3 questions, 3 parts. You know, if you're talking to an audience of people, right, of our audience, of any audience, and you could say you need to do, or you should do these 3 things to help you unleash your human potential just a little bit more, what would those 3 tips be? If I could take action steps today, what would they be?
All right, cool. So the very first thing, again, I did not do this before the stroke. First thing I highly, highly recommend, and it worked for me, was to do meditation. I had never done meditation before, and that helped me basically calm down, keep me centered, and gave me the will to live. And no matter what problems, what situations you are facing, I highly recommend doing some form of meditation. And again, not going overboard, doing what is required. But that meditation helps you, and there are different kinds of meditation you can do. You can do guided meditation. You can do self meditation and so on and so forth. But the key is to relax your mind and body, and what that does is it helps you accept the situation.
Hey everyone, I apologize. We had lost internet connection, Samir and I, as we were finishing up the last 3 questions on what he can do to help people unleash their human potential just one bit more. Yes, guess what he started with was meditation. And we know that this is one of the most important pieces of the puzzle in lifestyle. That's why we've had many guests, just to name a few or a couple, Emily Fletcher and Dr. Joe Dispenza. They are absolutely amazing. So if you've not listened to their episodes, go back in time, check them out. They are completely awesome. And I urge you to definitely check out meditation. If you're not doing it yet, it's something you should be doing. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you need to be meditating, not maybe should be. So check it out. And I want you to stick around for the next few minutes and check out the 3065 Lifestyle Shift program. If you're listening, listen. If you're watching, and I bet you know what? You know that meditation is a huge part of the 3065 Lifestyle Shift program. We do talk about it. So check it out. I love and appreciate all of you. Have a great day, evening, or night from wherever you're listening or watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, it's Dr. Josh Hant here, and we need to talk about your health, your fitness, and your lifestyle. I know you, if you're like me, you've seen sickness and disease and even death in your life. And we know the leading causes of death in the United States are cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. Many of these conditions and diseases are considered lifestyle-based. And I know that lifestyles in the United States and other countries are not where they should be. We also know that they make you more vulnerable to other sicknesses and conditions. We tend to get our advice and recommendations on health from commercials and marketing, from fast food to pharmaceuticals, and not from experts with real-world experience. Unfortunately, we follow people or products who don't walk the walk or talk the talk. They simply just don't care about your health. It's just about their bottom line. I know we've heard it from our friends and from even our own self-talk that we don't have enough time, we can't make the changes, or there's just too much to do to be healthy. But there is a way to actually take control of your lifestyle and have the accountability and the support you need. We can be bigger than our excuses. For the past 14 years as a chiropractor, I've worked and continue to work with thousands of patients with their lifestyle and ultimately their health. I am now bringing the same philosophy to the online space where we can work as a group to get better, stronger, healthier, and be bigger than our excuses every single day. I've created the 3065 Lifestyle Shift program to be an online-based, training-based program where you get to learn and be engaged with others in your journey towards a healthy lifestyle and ultimately a healthier life. To be part of this amazing movement, it's just $5 a month. Yes, it's only $5 a month, and that seems too good to be true. Well, it's not. So for the price of a gourmet coffee, you will have access to an amazing program and amazing people that want the best for you too. So when you dive into the content below this video to learn about our lifestyle philosophy, you'll see that we are incredibly unique. No other online program focuses on lifestyle the way we do and delivers the quality and the quantity of content that we do for just $5 a month. And it's not just about the movement. There's a lot more. It's really about your health. So check out the details and other videos below. And when you sign up, I'll even send you the ebook, Inside the Locker, which dives deeper into creating an awesome lifestyle. I look forward to seeing you on the inside of the Lifestyle Locker 3065 Lifestyle Shift program.